Hello, my name is Olle. I'm a game developer from Sweden. Today I'd like to show you a bit of the project I'm working on, including my fancy new script editor. I'll first go through some of the basics, and then in the end I'll make some bats dance for you. So my project is a specialized game engine that creates something akin to Warcraft 3 custom maps, for example tower defenses, MOBAs and minigames. The goal is to make it easy to create these gameplay-focused, experimental multiplayer games. So this is the terrain editor. You have the tiles to the left. The minimap is not implemented yet, as you can see. And you can control the size of the terrain with these little knobs here. So let's just pick some tiles from over here. We're gonna create this little pillar here in the middle. Like so. And then let's go over to the entity editor, where you can see I can place out some more purple guys if I want to. Can also select a number of them and change all their properties at the same time. So let's undo that, and we can also control the rotation, as you can see. But for now I actually just want to place a point which I will use for the dance script that I will create in a second. So let's just create this point and call it center. That should be it. And now let's head over to the script editor, where we will probably recognize the format of this editor. It's pretty similar to Starcraft 2, Warcraft 3 editors. So you have a list of scripts on the left side. You can also create these like folders, move scripts around into folders and so on. For our little dancing script, let's just call it a dance. Oh, caps lock. Oh well. So now we first want to have this event that triggers an instance of this script. So let's just go for game start event. We don't really need a local variable right now, but I can create one just to show you how it works. So we have this local variable, which is an integer. We could press this to make it a list and control the number of items in the list. But yeah, for now, let's just remove that. We also have conditions, which you probably know about if you use the Warcraft 3 editor and so on, where we can check for different conditions that will be tested for before the script instance runs. So we can conditionally make it stop early on. And finally, we have actions over here. So let's add an action. And for now, let's just try writing like a little hello. More caps lock. Let's disable that caps lock before anyone gets hurt. And I want to print it to the warning log because that shows up nice and easy on the screen. So let's go into file and run this thing. So this will compile the entire code and start us up, and there's the hello. You can see also, you can move a little purple guy around here. So yeah. Let's jump right back into the editor mode. Now I want to go back to the script, find our script there, and I want to remove this one. And instead of writing something to the log, I want to create a few bats. We use the create units action for this. So we want to create 4 of them. Let's just, 4. And 4x of bat is what we want. For the location, remember that center point we created earlier. This one, we can refer to it here. And for the rotation, starting rotation, let's go with the default. And so this final parameter is kind of interesting. So you can see that the ID of these 4 created bats is going to the last created units list, what is the last created units list? We didn't create one over here, or like there's no global list of last created units either. So the thing is, it creates this variable called a context variable, which will be created automatically for you by functions that need it. So we could also like have this explicit local variable. It has to be entity list, and we probably want 0 entities from the beginning. And now we can move, push out those 4 entities IDs to this local. Yeah, let's call it something better. Bats. So yeah, so we move, create 4 bats and add them to the bats list. Now we want to make them dance, as I promised you. So let's go into, let's create a for each action. And what this does is we select a list, in this time the bats list, and we'll iterate through them and set each like entry in this list to another context variable, which is item. And yeah, let's just use that one. And for each of these bats, we want to move it somewhere. You can't have dance without movement. So we move the bat that is stored in the item variable to, well, 0, that's in the top left of corner of the map. We don't want that. We want just some random position. So let's just use a function here. We can use the vector 2r, which is basically just creating a 2D vector out of components. And for the x-axis, we will use a random number between 0 and 100, say. And let's just do the same thing for the y-axis. And that will hopefully make them move out to some random position around the start. So let's just add a little wait after this, after we've moved all of our bats, so they have some time to get to their target position. And then we kind of want to do the whole thing again. So let's copy, let's paste, and this time we want to move them back to the center. Before I forget, we should also copy this little wait here and just give us some time in the beginning, let's say here, so we can have time to move the camera and see everything. See if I've gotten everything right. I think this should be correct. So let's start this. Let's just run it. So the bats have already created. Oh, and they moved. And they moved back. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's a very stupidly simple script, of course, but let's make it just slightly more fancy, I think. So we can, let's add a little, change this event. So let's just use a periodic timer instead. And say every 2 seconds we want to create a new set of bats that will move out. So let's just run that again. Control R to run the project. That creates the bats. New set of bats is created. And they move out. So yeah, this is the things I wanted to show for today. I hope you enjoyed this little demo. If you like it, or if you have any comments to write, the comment field is below. Thank you for listening. Bye.